Hey everybody, I'm Andie Teeter, and we're going to wait for a couple of minutes. I'm going to kind of sit here. If you're listening to the recording of this, you may want to fast forward just a couple of seconds because I'm going to wait for the live people to get here before I get started. So I'm really excited. I've got lots of information to give you guys. We are going to kind of go by this step by step. I'm going to give you some of my tips, and once we get a really good crowd going here in about 2 minutes, hey Jessica, once we get a crowd going, I'm going to go ahead and get started because I'm really excited to share with you guys. Hi Alicia, hey Jessica, hey Kelly, holy moly, everybody wants to know about recruiting. Hey Amanda, this is really exciting. I'm glad you guys came on and we're sharing this Sunday evening together. You guys give me some time because I want to make sure that I'm answering all your questions. We're going to have Candy Hine is also a super duper rock star recruiter, and she is actually going to be on here answering some of the questions, making sure that I don't miss anybody, because her and I recruit very similar, so I don't want to miss any of your questions. Oh, there she is. There's Candy. So Candy's kind of tag teaming with me this week, and we're really excited to share some of our top recruiting secrets, and hold off until the end because I am going to give you guys a little bit of homework. So, and I don't want to scare you by homework because it's something that you can really fit into every day that's super easy. Hey Kirby, I see some of the party superstars here, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I have to tell you guys a little bit about myself because I want you to know that I have kind of perfected my own art. Not the art, because I think there are tons of people that do it better than me. Trust me. Hey Beth. But I have kind of perfected my art in recruiting. And well, first let me tell you, before I get into that, let me tell you. So I'm Andie Teeter. I'm a star director, and I am a proud mama to the Party Superstars. Amazing group of men and women that I'm lucky enough to call myself a leader of, even though we have so many other leaders in our organization that are just super amazing. Some of them are here. I see them giving little hearts. I am an annual sales and annual mentor award earner every year, and I have earned every incentive since August 2012 when I joined, and it's been amazing. Definitely, if you guys have not earned a trip, please earn a trip. That is the first, and I hate to say that because some people, that's not their love language, but for me, trips are my love language. And you know what, guys? The reason that they're my love language is not only because they're free and they're super duper awesome. The reason they're my love language is because I meet awesome people like you guys that I wouldn't have normally had that one-on-one with. And I feel, and this is what I'm about to speak about today, I feel really strongly about one-on-one interaction. So here is what happened. So I'm rolling up my sleeves. So I used to preach about social media and about recruiting on social media. Some of you guys know that through love. You've watched my YouTube. I still believe in that as an alternative or addition. Not an alternative, as an addition, right? I still highly believe that social media is a great venue for meeting new people, especially for busy people. However, I moved. So I moved. My husband's military, and we moved 6 months ago to a very populated area, which I grew my Scentsy business in a very small town. So we moved to a populated area, and I was scared to death. I was overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start. I felt like a new consultant, guys. A lot of my customers I did not carry with me because they wanted their product then and there, and I wasn't then and there anymore. I was 4 hours away. So I started all over, essentially. And this time, I did it how I started in the very beginning, by doing home parties and doing events and getting out there and meeting people. So I'm gonna, before I get into the nitty-gritty, I'm gonna kind of tell you how I've been doing it. So I got back to doing home parties, which I enjoy. I don't call them home parties, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. But so not only that, but I put myself into situations where I would meet people one-on-one. going to the doctors. So I like, you know how you put off going to the doctors, you have to get a physical, you have to get your eyes, whatever. So I totally put myself into situations where I was meeting people constantly, joining free networking groups. I joined a new workout group. I joined, what else did I do? I started a networking group. There were many avenues that I started to get out into the public and meet people. So I would set aside, 2-3 hours a week that I was intentionally going out, and I would surround myself with 10 or more people. So whether that be the networking group or my workout group or wherever. Now, here's the thing. I made sure that I was connecting with people, because you can go out around people all you want, but what do? We wait for people to come to us, right? We're too scared, which is my first thing I want to talk about. We're scared to make these connections because we have anxiety. First, I want to tell you guys that I have anxiety too. I have severe panic attacks. I get depressed when it's cold. I fight anxiety every day. I have spoken in front of hundreds of Scentsy ladies, and I still am so nervous right now. I could probably like get sick right now by doing this. But you know what? I push through the fear. I push through the fear because my why is so strong. You know what my why is? My why, number one now, is to grow other ladies and gentlemen on our team that want it as bad as I do, and making sure that I'm building a relationship with them and helping them connect to their why. That way they can grow, right? So number one, I want them to fly off on their own, right? And I don't want to get sidetracked too much. I know I'm here to talk about recruiting, but I think I need to explain some things to you for you to understand where I'm coming from, so I hope you guys don't mind. But our anxiety holds us back from so many wonderful things in life. And do you want to be maybe on your deathbed someday when you're hopefully 90, 100 years old? I hope we all live long and strong and wonderful lives. But do you want to be laying on your deathbed someday and think, man, I wish I really would have pushed my Scentsy business, because that 9-to-5 job really drained me. And I could have been working a wonderful business. And I saw that Andie Teeter on Facebook. She always made me so mad because she was out there enjoying her life while I was working 9-to-5. And she got to sell Scentsy. And I could have done the same thing, but I chose not to. It's your choice. We have a product that's consumable. We have a company that is stable and growing. We have a product that you can sell to men and women of any age. Everything's there. But you're letting your anxiety hold you back. 98% of you guys are doing it. You've got to stop. And I'm very emotional right now. I'm on the verge of tears because I know what you guys are going through. We all go through it. All of us leaders that you're going to hear speak on love, dude, we've all been there. We are there. We struggle with many things that you guys don't know about. We look strong and successful and, like we're all these awards we're getting on stage at reunion, and guess what? Most of us are horrible. We have horrible social anxiety. We have horrible panic attacks. We struggle with all these things too, but we push through them. Learn to embrace your anxiety and let go of the fear, guys. You know what I do? If you guys ever see me at an event, I have really bad social, like I get really bad, and my team knows this, when we're around big crowds, I start sweating and I get really just, learn to be your most authentic self, and what I do is I try to block it as much by humming in my head. My grandmother that raised me used to hum to me and sing, so music is very strong for me, so I hum in my head. Or sometimes I think I do it out loud. I really don't care because it's helping me. So, okay, so recruiting, let's get into it, guys. Recruiting is not scary. Number one, I want you guys, and some of you have done this exercise before, but I want you to write on a sheet of paper, if you feel you're not a good recruiter, I want you to write, I am not a good recruiter. And we're going to set that aside. We're not going to worry about it for now. I just want you to, if you feel that way, I want you to write it down. It's okay. I'm not going to see it. We're not in person. This is just for you, okay? So I'm going to remind myself because I want to come back to that. So number one, I shared these things with you guys because I want to be, it's funny because Tracy just says, I want to be transparent and genuine and authentic. Why do I want to be like that? Because I want you to look at me and I want you to know that you can also be transparent, authentic, and still be successful in this business. You don't have to have blonde hair. You don't have to wear makeup. You don't have to be white-skinned. You don't have to be tiny and skinny and perfect. You just have to be you. People love you the way you are, and you're going to connect with people if you are truly connected with your authentic self and you're not trying to be like anybody else, right? So number one, we're going to go through phases. We're going to go through planting seeds phase, and a lot of you have heard this. But we're going to go through a planting seed phase, we're going to go through the watering phase, and we're going to go through the blooming, okay? So we're going to plant these seeds. How do we plant seeds? Well, we learn how to relate to people. This is not something that comes naturally to almost anyone. How to relate to people is not an easy thing. Here are some things that I have found. Find common interest with people. Whether they're wearing a shirt from Key West and used to live, like I used to live in Key West, so I find it, you know, I look at what they're wearing, I look at what's hanging out of their purse, I look at what they're wearing because maybe I want to compliment them. And it has to be genuine, guys. You guys have heard me before. If somebody's jacked up and they did not look in the mirror and you know they didn't look in the mirror at that outfit, don't judge them. Don't be harsh. But don't tell them that you like their outfit if you really don't like it, please. Because you know what? You're not going to be authentic and they're going to catch on to that. But compliment them. If you like something they're wearing, dude, I'll see a girl from across the way and I'm like, dude, I like her dress. I need to know where she got that. Now I have a segue to go meet this girl, right? If somebody has a boogie in their nose, tell them. People want you to be authentic with them. If somebody farted, you know what? Tell them, you know what? It's all happened to the best of us. Be authentic. Don't act like nobody did any, or maybe you should act like nobody did anything. Maybe that would be better. I don't know. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. Just be real with people. People want to be... Ashley, yeah, I say dude a lot. So find common interests with them. Make people feel good about themselves, right? So maybe mentioning that fart wouldn't make them feel good about themselves. I don't know. I mean, it depends who you're dealing with. Compliment them. Make them feel important. And I'm going to show you some ways to make people feel important. Listen effectively. So remember Tiny. Write down T-I-N-Y. It's about their interests, not yours, okay? You're really listening. Quit being, I know all of us are talkers, right? We really, a lot of us are, because we like to talk. We like to talk about Scentsy. Everybody likes to talk about themselves. But really tone it down a notch, right? So develop empathy skills. So some people have it naturally, some people don't. Some people are empathetic, some people aren't. For me, I know when somebody's having anxiety because I'm a very empathetic person. I take on people's emotions when I'm around them. I'm that person that when I meet somebody, I kind of know if they're crappy or not. It's a bad thing and it's a good thing altogether. But you need to develop empathy skills. So what I mean is, if maybe you disagree with someone, but you don't necessarily have to like promote it all over Facebook how you disagreed with someone, or when you meet them in public, you don't have to like argue with them all the time because you don't have to always be right, okay? I hate that. It's so tacky on Facebook when people are constantly commenting under things, thinking they know everything. Nobody's going to like you if you're doing that, right? Be genuine, which we went over. Be genuine, guys. Please be genuine people. Tiny is their interest. So T, their interest, not yours, Alicia. So their interest, not yours, is Tiny. Just always remember it's about them. Be okay with differences. So I told you, you know, just a minute ago, be okay with somebody disagreeing with you, which is really hard. It's hard for me because I'm so opinionated, but I'm really trying to work on that because it's like, sometimes people just want to be a devil's advocate. They don't necessarily disagree with you. So a lot of times if you show them patience, you can develop a friendship with them and they'll respect you more than if they would if you argued with them. I hope that makes sense. So here are some examples at parties and events how I connect with people. So for instance, if somebody is around me and they're super friendly, they're super like excited about Scentsy, we all know those people. Those people at the party who are the life of the party, right? Everybody likes them. They have a great personality. They're beaming with sunshine. I will sit down. So at every party, I sit down with the people at the end to take their order. And what I do is after I'm done talking with them, before the next person comes and sits down, I will write down notes, which I'm going to get to this. But if that person sparked me as someone that, like I said, totally just like people love them, I will say, and it takes bravery the first couple of times, but I will say to them, holy crap, you would be the bomb.com at this business. I've been doing this for a while, and I can tell you that if you need some extra money, you want to get free Scentsy, whatever you want out of it, girl, I can help you make it work, and you would be amazing. That's a compliment, okay? Maybe they're not interested. They're going to let you know. But maybe they have thought about it, and ask them, have you thought about doing this? Because you would be absolutely amazing, okay? So, hold on. Still have never done a home part. Okay, we'll get to that, Amanda. I know. It's a hard thing to kind of cross over, but I'll get to the home party thing. So, my favorite thing at events. If somebody comes up and they're gonna buy, you know, all this Scentsy, I will just simply say, and this is like my one-liner, I do it all the time, even like not at events, when people come to me with an order, I'm always trying to flip it. So here's what I say, and you can make it your own, but I say, you know, you can get that for free and half off. Do you want to know how? Everybody says yes. So then I say, well, there's two ways. You can either join my team or refer somebody to join, and you will get something free if they join, or you can host a party and and maybe not say party, because I'm really starting to think now when mentioning the word party is kind of like with people, so maybe not. Maybe you would say, you know what, let's get a live get together at a coffee shop with 5 or 7 of your girlfriends. Let's put it together and you get the hostess rewards. You know what I mean? So you're kind of like flipping it around. It's a live, it's considered a home party, but it's at a coffee shop with 7 of her girlfriends. You didn't say party, so she kind of doesn't know she's hosting a party, right? So that's a way that I kind of always flip it. Now, what's next? Water the seed. Well, how do we water the seed? We get people to trust us. We build trust. No one is going to join you unless they trust you. Somebody that you've been talking to, they have to know they trust you, right? If you just meet them, they're going to feel you out, right? Okay, so building trust. Here's some ways to build trust. Keep your word and follow through. So if you tell somebody you're going to send them a catalog, send them a catalog. You guys, I have a horrible memory, so I have a notebook filled with notes. In my phone, I have notes everywhere. And I remember to do these things. Do you know what I hear all the time? Is people say, yeah, I had a consultant, but they told me they were going to send me a catalog, and they haven't yet. And well, you're right here, and you're going to send me one, so I kind of think I'll go with you. See, they don't trust that consultant. That consultant said they were going to do something and they didn't make that person feel special enough to follow through with doing it, right? How many of us do that? I've been guilty. I forget about things, but not anymore. I write down really good notes, guys. Timing is important. Patience is everything. So I have had people that literally wanted to talk to me. They talked to me about joining, and they are like a year and a half down. I'm still following up with them. Some of them haven't even responded, or, you know, they read my comment or read my message, haven't responded. Keep following up in a nice way, guys. Sometimes not even mentioning Scentsy. Just, you know, if you know that their dog was sick or their husband was sick, maybe follow up with them and be like, hey, how's your husband doing? That teaches trust. You're not really asking about Scentsy, right? You're just wondering how you're genuinely wondering how they are. Think before you react, which, I mean, what I mean by this is just, you know, before, like, and I'm guilty of this. Sometimes we speak and we don't mean the things that we come out, and we say it in a wrong way, and then we're like, crap. Really start to think before you react to things, because you can break someone's trust if you react in a certain way. Treat customers well. Well, how do we treat customers well? Guess what? Not following up with people shows them that you don't care. I can't tell you how many people have told me, I love that you follow up with me, which I was guilty of not doing it for years, and I cannot tell you how many people joining in sales and parties that I lost because I didn't follow up. And now my customers tell me, thank you so much, because my old consultant never followed up with me. I guess they just didn't really care enough about me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So you're building trust with them by following up with them. And all these things, you're watering this seed. Why? To build the trust. Why? Because you want them to join your team. Be honest, which, I mean, duh, nobody's gonna trust you if you're dishonest all the time. Don't hide your feelings. If you really care about somebody, or you really like them, or, you know, show them, hey, listen, I know I just met you a couple weeks ago, but I think you're a really great person. Sometimes we're afraid because we're afraid of rejection. We're afraid of what people think of us. Don't be afraid. Show them your feelings. Don't always self-promote. So like on Facebook, don't always self-promote yourself. Maybe promote somebody else, even if they're with a different company. And it gets kind of hard because you don't really want to promote a lot of other direct sales companies per se. But like, for instance, my massage lady, I'll promote her. Or, you know, when people see that, they're like, wow, she really cares about me. She really, you know what I mean? Well, guess what? These other small business people are people that you want to join your team, right? So show them that you care. Don't always self-promote. Recognize others. Always follow your intuition, which I've found to be very powerful. And admit mistakes to people. So if you made a mistake with a customer and you, whatever, just admit it. Say, you know what, I totally effed up and I'm giving you this free scent circle because I totally made mistakes, right? So the bloom part, what does that mean? Well, don't forget, when they join your team, you have to help them bloom then. How do you help them bloom? Teach them independence. Teach them that you're their cheerleader, that you're the person that believes in them, even if no one else does. Be their friend. Bloom them into a leader, right? So don't handhold, don't give them all the information, you know, let them go look for the information first. Let them build their own business. Let them bloom into the flower that they deserve to bloom into, right? Okay, so here's some other notes. I have had great success with open houses. I never did open houses before I moved, but now I do. Do you know why? Because it has really helped, because I had a lady that wanted to do one. So I did an open house, I greeted everyone at the door, and then I kind of like let them do their thing, you know? Then at the end, I collected their orders just like I would at a home party. I sat down with each one of them single, you know, individually. But this helped me build relationships so much more so that I could recruit, because I wasn't up there blah, 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 blah. And the, this warmer, it was made in, you know, like, I kind of threw that stuff in, you know, here and there through the open house, but I wasn't standing up there giving this presentation, so I had time to bond with people and relate to them. And I was writing down notes all along because I have a bad memory, right? I told you guys, it's horrible. So I was writing down notes left and right about these people. Please make sure when you do have online, and I'm not here to talk about online parties or catalog parties or bag parties, but make sure that you are adding, when you do have these type of parties, add them on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or whatever you have, and make sure that you're writing notes to connect with them. So maybe drop them a comment under their post every once in a while. Connect with them that way. Send them messages. Facebook, I love connecting on Facebook. That's one of my favorite through Messenger, but everybody has their own thing. So the writing notes thing. Writing notes is the best thing. So here's what I do. When I'm going out in public, I write down that Sunday night where I'm going to be. I write down who I'm going to see. So you do columns, or you could do it in your phone. Write down where you're going to be, So you know you're going to the doctor's office. You know you're going to have a party. You know you have an event, right? So you write down all those things. Try to think of 10 of those things. And this is kind of part of your homework, so you might want to write this down. So write down those 10 things, and then write down the 10 people that you may see there. Okay, so the party, you know, you might see Megan and her friend Christy, and maybe Christy's going to bring her friend Pam, whatever. You go to the doctor's office, you know you're going to see the receptionist that you see every time. You know you're going to see the doctor, the nurses. So write down everything, you know, that everybody that you're going to see. And then make another column for the things that you learned. So this comes my notes, right? So when I do a party, like I said, I'm constantly writing notes. Why? Because when I follow up with these people, or when I go back to the doctor's office, Pam with the red hair, the receptionist, I never knew her name. When I ask her name that one time, I want to remember it. Why? Because I might be the only person that remembered Pam's name that's come in and out of that doctor's office. The next time I come in wearing my Scentsy shirt and I say, hey Pam, how are you doing? How's your leg? I know you broke your leg last week. Did I remember that because I'm super awesome? No, I remember that because I wrote it in my notes. Why? Because I want Pam to feel special and important. And that is how I show her that I care about her genuinely and I remembered her name. Nobody else probably cared about Pam that week or remembered that she broke her foot the last time or that her name was Pam, but you did. So when you're wearing that Scentsy shirt, she might be more apt to say, you sell Scentsy, or what's Scentsy? And then that opens up a great conversation, right? You start planting the seeds, okay? You do this at events. You do this at home parties. You do this thing over and over every day. So challenge yourself, whether you want to do it with 3 people, 5 people a day, the more the better. I challenge myself to recruit 50 or more people in a year. Why? Because it's in the numbers, guys. Why not go for the gold, right? If I told you that you had a gold brick in your backyard and it was somewhere and it was definitely there and it was worth $1 million, how much would you dig every day to find it? You would dig a lot. I would dig a lot. So why not work your business to the full maximum potential? Because eventually you can have that gold brick. So I hope that all makes sense. Don't forget about hostess flipping. Hostesses are our best recruits. Yes, because they love Scentsy. They already have a passion for it because they wanted free stuff and half off stuff. So why not recruit them and give them that party when they sign up, right? Especially this month. Heck yeah, because they're getting how much in free Scentsy? That's super amazing, right? Okay, I don't want to get to the paper thing yet. So, let me go over this too. Those of you that came in later, if you feel that you're a bad recruiter, just write down on a sheet, I'm a bad recruiter. If you don't feel that way, please don't write it down. But if you do feel that way, please write it down. We're going to do something here in a minute. So what can I answer? I mean, I could literally talk about recruiting and go on and on and on forever about things that I've learned. But what it all boils down to is, are you willing to work? Are you willing to work hard at times? Are you willing to step through your boundaries, step through your fear, and do the things that you know you need to do to grow this business? You have to recruit. You have to grow, guys. If you don't, your business is not going to flourish. And you have to teach your team to do the same, right? And if your team isn't growing and recruiting, you need to recruit new people that are willing to recruit. Does that make sense? I'm not saying forget about your old recruits, because some people, we still need people that put in their 200 every 3 months. It takes a whole family of different people to make a family, right? So we have our people that are here putting in their 200 every 3 months, and they're okay with that. Don't get frustrated with them. We need everyone in our family. Oh gosh, I feel like there's just so much in this head. I just want to tell you guys everything. What questions do you guys have? I'm trying to read now some of the comments. I had a hostess, Monica Alger, I think I said it right, says I had a hostess with 509 PRV party and I spent, it's going so fast. I spent a week discussing joining and she still decided she didn't have the time. I was surprised. You know what? Bless and release then, girl. Be thankful she's your hostess. Make her excited for that next catalog that she's going to be a hostess for, and this just isn't the time for her yet. You don't want her to join when the time's not right. guess what? If she joins when the time's not right, she's not going to perform how she really needs to. So, hold on, let me see. Ooh, yeah, I can talk about overcoming objections real quick. So, okay. So someone says they don't have the money. What do I say? I say, you know what? I totally, and this is true, I share my own story. I totally understand what you're saying, because when I joined, we were living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't want to work outside the home. We were doing everything to keep ends meet, and the $99 was a real stretch. So guess what I did? I sold stuff on a yard sale site. I gathered the money together because I wanted to change my situation that bad. So you kind of flip it around on them and, you know, listen, you have to be willing to change your situation at some point. Is this point now? You invest this in yourself and you can change your situation, right? They say, I don't have the time. Perfect. All of us are busy. The busier you are, the better. You know why? Because you can take your bag and your testers anywhere you go. You can share Scentsy with way more people than me, because I sit at home and pick boogers all day. Which I don't, but you guys get what I'm saying. If they're out in public and they're out surrounded by people, that's even better. When people say they're busy, I'm like, heck yeah, you'll make a great consultant, right? What's the other objections? Now I'm drawing a blank. So we have no money. Oh, I don't know anybody. I always say, great, you know what? When I started Scentsy, I didn't know anybody in my little town. It was a small town, didn't know anybody, and it helped me make friends. So see, you felt, I'm reading Kate's thing. Well, actually, this relates to that. Yes, feel, felt, found. So, I understand what you feel. I felt the same way. However, I found out that Scentsy helped me gain friends. Scentsy helped me meet new people. So now I know everybody because of Scentsy. So see how you're flipping the situation into a positive instead of trying to talk them out. And you always relate to the way they're feeling. Never make them feel like they're feeling bad things for not wanting to join or feeling doubts, because we all had doubts. And Natasha says, I asked people to host, and the last 3 women all basically said the same thing. I just don't have the time. I explained, but they still don't have the time. Well, then you move on and you find somebody else. If they're not even willing to have an online party, which is super easy, then you know what? Find new hostesses. Good news is that this world's getting bigger and not smaller. So people are turning 18 every single day. Not that they have to be 18 to host a party, but you constantly can put yourself into situations online, social media, and in person to meet new people. So, you know, I mean, I know it's easy for me now. It wasn't as easy to let it roll off before, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. Let's see. I'm trying to find some questions. Like, ooh, I don't want to skip anybody. Oh, okay. I have people constantly like my business opportunity posts on Facebook. How do I approach them about the business opportunity when they haven't actually said that they were interested? So what I do is when somebody likes my post, I say, hey girl, or guy, I mean, I don't want to leave the guys out, I just, you know, like whoever, hey, I just wanted to thank you for supporting my business by liking my post. I really appreciate it. And listen, if you happen to know anybody that's interested in this opportunity, you know, we're having blah 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 join special, or you know, if they join and hit their shooting star, I'm going to give them a free mini tester. You know what I mean? Like, and I like to use the words if they know anybody, or if you know, because then it kind of takes the burden off of them. So if I'm saying, hey, would you happen to know anybody? And well, they've been liking my posts for the past 2 freaking months, you know? So they're like, uh-oh, she's on to me, but I've got to answer her. So, well, yeah, I kind of know somebody. I've been kind of thinking about it. So that's usually how that conversation goes. And by the way, guys, what do I do whenever I get these people? So when they say that they're interested, I don't mail them a bunch of information. I don't give them any information. I schedule a phone call or a coffee meetup with them right away. I talk to them about the basics, what they start out at, what goal they have in the beginning, how they're going to hit it by having their launch party, and then share my short story about my success, and then I find out what they want from Scentsy, what their desire is, what, that way I know, and then I kind of tell them, okay, well, you would need to, to get the extra $200 to $400 a month. If you don't want to build a team, you would have to, do $1,000 in sales. That means you have to host 2 to 4 parties a month. You know what I mean? I kind of break it down for them, and then I always schedule a follow-up with them, because usually they're like, well, I have to think about it. I've talked to my husband. I'm like, no worries. I let them pick the day that I'm going to follow up with them, and then I kind of, go from there, and I always add them as a VIP to my team page, because that really helps out, because they can see how supportive our team is and how great. So let me scroll down here and see if oh yeah, no worries, Jessica. I hope it helped. Well, okay, so let's do this last, I won't keep you guys anymore, this last exercise. So that piece of paper that you guys, some of you did choose to write down, I'm a bad recruiter, if you think you're a bad recruiter. I want you to take that piece of paper, and I want you to rip it up and throw it away. So why do I want you to do that? Because the more that you tell yourself that you're not good at something, the more that you're going to believe that you're not. None of us are natural recruiters. None of us, 90% of us, had never owned a business. We had never led a team. We, a lot of us, I happen to have my college degree, which I don't know where it's helpful, but I guess it makes me a more well-rounded person. But most people don't have any formal education in marketing or sales. Most of us are just average people trying to go for a big goal, and we have to break through our fear to get there. That is the truth. So quit telling yourself you're bad at it. If you tell yourself, I'm not getting any hosts, I can't get any hostess, I can't recruit, and I'm not good at it, and blah, 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 then let your excuses hold yourself at bay, because you're not going to be on these trips with me drinking pina coladas on the beach, and you're not going to feel good about yourself because you didn't try your hardest. And I can tell you that, and I know it's harsh, but I have faith in you guys. You should have faith in you guys. Enid, preach it, preach it. Do you try to flip basket and Facebook host as well from the start of their parties? It just depends. Facebook's hard because if people order online, you have to kind of tell them, hey, there's really no way I can give you those orders. But yeah, I try to flip all my parties, or I talk to people about joining. It's always on my mind. So I try to flip all my parties. Aw. Jeez, thanks, Jessica. Now you're gonna make me cry. That's super nice. Jeez, I can't wait to meet you guys in at Kansas City reunion. I love reunion, guys, and I don't know, I have this new perspective on my business, and I'm really in a good place this year, and I believe that we need to share like this in order for everybody to be successful, because the people that I looked up to take time to help me and took time to help me, and it's people that aren't on my upline or anything. It's just people that I knew were successful, and I reached out to them and said, hey, will you do like a 10-minute phone call with me, or can you answer my question real quick? And they were nice enough to do that. So I feel that it's really important for us to all spread the love. So oh no, I don't promote kidnapping. I mean, it happens. It is what it is. People do it. I mean, okay, for example, real quick, I know I said I'm going to go, but real quick, so one of my customers last week, she was like, I just want to tell you, I don't want to grow a team. I just want to get the discount, and I already give her really good discounts on top of hostess rewards and stuff, and I was honest with her. I was like, if you really, like, she was super honest. She's like, I do not want to build my business. I have joined other teams or businesses and kidnapped, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I told her, I was like, you might want to stay a hostess, but if you ever consider, changing your mind, I mean, maybe it was wrong of me, but these days, I don't know, it's just but then you hear of superstar directors that were kidnappers that did end up building their business, so Honestly, I'm not the all-knowing about that, and maybe one of the other love ladies, maybe Candy, can kind of chime in on that on this post, because I don't really know the answer to that. I'm really not sure, because I've never personally had anybody join as a kidnapper and grow, so I don't know. It's kind of like wasting all your time on somebody to reinstate, where you couldn't be having like a new person come on, and the reinstated people usually don't work their business. Whereas if you would have put your energy into recruiting somebody new instead of a reinstate, you would have had better luck. It's one of those kind of things, so I'm sorry, I can't help. I hope you guys learned some stuff. Please come up to me at reunion. I really do have anxiety, so if I'm like looking around and being all weird nerdy, it is because I'm humming in my head, and I just need you to come up and hug me. I remember when I would see star and superstar directors at reunion, I would see them and like want to go up and talk to them, and now that I know them, I'm like, gosh, I should have went up and talked to them, but I was kind of scared to. Not that you're scared to talk to me, but I'm just, you know, it's really important for us to have those connections at reunion. So if I can be that one person, you know, I'm here, guys. Like, seriously, come give me a hug, because 9 out of 10 is going to help me snap out of my panic attack. So, Candy says, I agree. I used to be quantity over quality, recruit a bazillion, but quality over quantity. Yeah, and some of us agree, disagree. I go back and forth on that. I think that you do find quality within quantity. It's really hard. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that either. But, alright guys, well, see you at Kansas City, and Courtney, yes, we will attack the panic together, girl. I hope you guys got some stuff out of this, and if you don't know about follow-ups, I don't know if Megan is doing her training, but definitely look up Megan Merlin, Jessica Villarreal. They do some really great, gosh, maybe Candy has one. Follow-up method is really great. I don't know who's going to be talking about that, but I'm sure they'll go over the same thing. Follow-ups are legit where it's at, guys. So, peace out. Love you guys, and see you guys at reunion or on an incentive trip.